as I stand here before you to share my point of view on gender equality in the workplace, especially in India, I will quickly draw upon the tradition of the Panchatantra and the Hitopadesh and tell you 3 tiny stories. And then I will follow it up with the ancient tradition of the Upanishads, and like Otrida did, question those stories. So very quickly. The first story is about a village woman from Bengal called Shobita. For the past 30 years, Shobita has travelled at the crack of dawn to Calcutta to work as a household help. Over these 30 years, Shobita has converted her mud dwelling into a proper home. She has married both her daughters off to well-settled grooms, unlike her own husband, who she was married to when she was young, an alcoholic abuser. But more than all of this, Shobita today is a very confident woman. She can manage life in a complicated city like Calcutta, and more importantly, she can navigate life itself. That is Shobita for you. Shobita visits her married daughters many times a year, and this is critical to the story. She carries gifts on festive occasions, she carries financial assistance when they need it, and she is a caregiver to them when they need her too. In conclusion, I will give you the most significant part of this story. None of Shobita's daughters work. We move on to the second story. Slightly more affluent Indudi. Indu Mukherjee came to Calcutta as part of a refugee family. She educated herself. She trained herself as a nurse and retired as a nursing superintendent. Indudi also has a daughter who is a gold medalist both at the undergrad and postgrad levels from Calcutta University, no less. Needless to say that Indudi's daughter too does not work. We move on to a yet better story that all you fantastically brilliant young women will relate to. Let's call this girl Megha. 20 years back, she perhaps passed out from this very privileged, very upmarket, very competent school. Or maybe Megha passed out from the privileged girls' school next door. Nevertheless, she aced her school leaving exams with the best grades possible. She was taken into St. Xavier's, aced her St. Xavier's leaving exams. She was immediately fast-tracked, taken into one of the most prestigious IIMs, where too she scored with flying colours. A year and a half after her MBA, Megha got married. Megha has never had a full-time career in her life. The questions that scream at us are these. What is it that makes such a brilliant and smart young woman complacent overnight? And let's speak about that young woman's parents. What makes mature adult parents encourage and support their daughter into studying to the best possible levels, but never nudge her into utilizing that education? Let's also think of, dear girls, ladies and gentlemen, of the other 2 women, Indu Mukherjee and Shobita. Look at how much they benefited from their career and from working. What is it that makes those 2 women not encourage their girls into working? As we delve into the reasons or the answers to these questions, let me shock you with the bomber of a fact. Dear girls, ladies and gentlemen, in the India of today, for the last 10 years, the number of working women is consistently on the decline. More and more women in a progressive India are choosing not to work. So 20 years back, 26% of Indian women worked in a workplace. And today, we are down to 19%. One of the lowest rates of full-time work in the world. Lower even than our neighbors, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. And it is through this fact that I will correlate the 3 stories that I've told you with the topic for the day. Gender equality at the workplace. Dear girls, please remember, till you are present in large numbers at a workplace, who do you expect to bat for you and for gender equality? Till you do not go out and make something of yourself, utilize the potential that schools like these are instilling into you, who do you think will hold aloft that flag of gender equality at the workplace? There are many reasons why women stop working. Unpaid work at home is a prime reason. Lack of better opportunities of education and of better paying jobs is another reason. A third and major reason is harassment at the workplace. But, and there's a big but here, far beyond all these 3 reasons is a 4th reason that permeates the lives of all women throughout India, irrespective of demography and irrespective of their background. This 4th reason is our culture. The culture of patriarchy. This beautiful, sweet way of convincing us that we shouldn't have full-time careers. Never mind if we've been given the best education. That is patriarchy for you girls. Remember that patriarchy reveals itself through Indian families thinking that the wealthier we are, the management of perception that Chaturvedi ji spoke about, the perception is managed in a manner where you're made to think that we are wealthy enough for you not needing to work, and by working you will perhaps lower the family's status. This patriarchy is revealed in a majority of men, primarily from the business class today in India, who think that it isn't manly for a woman to contribute equally to the family income. This patriarchy is revealed also in many other forms, including the most shocking and most sad of them all, in our parents and parents-in-law expecting and wanting and needing dependence from us. Needing dependence from a group of such bright girls who have been educated and taught to analyze, to infer and to conclude, and who then, as young women, are expected to erase the idea of questioning or disagreeing with their very family. Beware of this patriarchy, girls. Please beware. Be cautious of instilling these in your brilliant girls, dear parents. If you think all is lost as far as gender equality at the workplace is concerned in India, then no, it isn't. It is in this India itself that when a girl and a boy, when a young woman and a young man start their career, then the far greater chances are that they both command the same salary. They do, they absolutely do. And over a period of time, the schism appears. The inequality raises its ugly head in all its goriness. And why do you think it happens? Because it is we women who abdicate the workplace. And why do we abdicate it? And this is yet another bomber of a fact. That in today's India, career as only fulfilling a financial need. Remember, girls, a career is much more than just a financial need being fulfilled. A full-time career keeps you mentally agile, keeps you physically fit. A full-time career helps you to continue sharpening yourself to ensure that you don't dull with disuse. And remember, my dear girls, please remember that we are products of our choices. So if you someday choose to not work because a life of convenience and laid-back luxury is beckoning you, then beware. It is your own mirror that will reveal to you at a later date as to what a big disappointment you have been to yourself first. You could have had it, you did not, and now it's too late. And yet, if you choose the harder path, if you choose to work and utilize your education, continue with sincere hard work and persevere against all odds, you will reach positions of power, and this world will applaud. And more important and sweeter than that applause will be the applause of your own children, your daughters and your sons, who will look upon you as a role model right at home. So remember, girls, please remember, it is up to your generation to turn this tide of educated women abdicating the workplace. It is up to your generation to utilize your education to the hilt, to explore the potential within each one of you as an individual. It is for you to do it. And the day you do it, gender equality at the workplace will not need to be snatched from the jaws of patriarchy. It will emerge on its own. It will bloom, it will blossom. All that is needed is your presence at the workplace. I will end my speech by invoking something that was said 100 years back. These are words that Netaji used 100 years back to exhort the women of India then to join the Azad Hind Fauj, to join the Rani Jhansi's regiment of the Azad Hind Fauj. He used to sing Dwarkanath Ganguly's lines at all his lyrics at all his rallies. And today, to me, these words resonate still as strong 100 years onwards. Na jagile bharoter lolona. You are the lalanas, you are the youngsters. Na jagile bharoter lolona. E bharot jagena, jagena, jagena. Thank you.